Hello and welcome to the Grove. Today we'll be looking at Smolder, the fiery fledgling. Hidden amongst the craggy cliffs of the Noxian frontier, under the watchful eyes of his mother, a young dragon is learning what it means to be heir to the Camavorian Imperial Dragon lineage. Playful and eager to grow up, Smolder looks for any excuse to practice his burgeoning abilities. Though he's still a fledgling, his skills are nothing to sneeze at, easily setting fire to anything that burns. Long before the lands that would become Camavor were named, dragons dwelt there. Once mortals arrived, conflict followed. The strife was only quelled when the first king of Camavor humbled himself before the dragon matriarch, bending the knee and pleading with her to lend her great strength to his armies and all his dreams of empire. So it was that the dragon who would eventually be known as Grandmother Viper and the Camavorian rulers swore the oath of Vulvaspiri in vain, binding their lineages for generations to come. The dragons remained fiercely loyal to the throne and to those high houses that passed the trials and performed the sacred rites of the oath. In exchange, the dragons were kept satiated with livestock and showered with offerings. The gold, jewels, and precious artifacts that accumulated over the years garnered them great respect, and those brazen enough to cross the dragons would pause at the thought of their own fortunes being reduced to molten slag and wind-borne ash. Long after Grandmother Viper passed into legend, and her brood was already much diminished, the young king, Viego Santirio Molak Balkalhal Haigari, called upon the Imperial Dragons to accompany him in the knightly orders to the Blessed Isles. The dragons refused, seeming to recognize his madness for what it was. Though even remaining in Camavor with all their treasures could not spare the kingdom from the tragic repercussions of the ruination, the handful that survived bore witness to endless neglect and conflict, roosting within the deteriorating palace where no monarch would ever reign again. Centuries would pass before another Imperial dragon would hatch. As that hatchling grew, scarcity of game forced his mother to venture further and further to hunt. This left the nest vulnerable to far-roaming Noxian beastmasters who stole the young dragon and set sail for home to collect their reward. However, shortly before arriving at their destination, the mother dragon discovered the ship's whereabouts and obliterated it with her fiery breath. In the chaos, the hatchling was swept away, borne by the current to a nearby island off mainland Noxus. Scared, alone, and hungry, the hatchling employed his mother's lessons to hunt small prey in this strange environment. And on one such hunt, he stumbled across a human child called Marinos. The boy would go on to name his new friend Smolder, and as the young dragon's ability to communicate grew, their friendship flourished, but remained a secret. The boy feared that if anyone else were to discover Smolder, he'd be taken to the mainland and sold to the highest bidder. As time passed, the boy grew into a man, one with responsibilities that seldom allowed for the playtime Smolder had grown so fond of. And so, in an effort to amuse himself, Smolder decided he'd learn to breathe fire like the dragons of Marinos' stories. After many attempts, instead of sneezing sparks as he'd done countless times before, flames burst forth. And in his excitement over this new development, Smolder failed to notice the fire spreading until it had engulfed the forest canopy. Suddenly, louder than a hunting horn, louder than thunder, a roar unlike any other rang through the air as a massive dragon approached. Having been drawn by the rising smoke, Smolder's mother swept down to embrace her child lovingly, as if they never parted. Carried away from the growing inferno by the scruff of his neck, Smolder soared, his first time experiencing the world as dragons should. Smolder now roosts with his mother on the cliffside, where she'd spent so long watching and waiting for signs he yet lived. Every night, she recounts the history of his kin, the meaning and responsibilities of Imperial dragons, and how to hone his fledgling abilities. And one day, when he is ready, they will return together to their ancestral home to usher in a new, golden age for Camavor.
I heard that the royal family of Camavor used to offer rings to my ancestors. Those things must have been humongous. My best friend Marinos used to tell me all sorts of stories, like the one about the kingdom of ghosts. Okay, I guess she's heard it before. Mom, it's just a story.